Hey guys, super fired up. I'm in Bethpage Park and it's right before work, and I was up early this morning. I just wanted to thank God for good words and that radical obedience that God put in my heart. I got up at 3 and basically I started reading John 15, and I read it like 100 times, but this time it really hit home. And I was just thinking about the power of our words again and the power of our testimony. And I just have I'm going to call this Testimony Tuesday because I met this woman a few times now. She always sits on a crate. She reminded me of my mother, and I started speaking to her last week. And in her own words, she basically told me I lost both my children to drug addiction. One 18 and I believe one 28. I'm going off memory. And it really hit home to me, and I started praying for her, and it was really hard for me to put into words what I could tell her. And I did tell her they're in a better place and her children are always with her, and God has a mighty plan for her. So yesterday after work, I worked a really long day, but I take breaks, so I stopped at 7-Eleven like 5:30, and she had asked me, she's like, you know what, Rocco, since I've been speaking to you, I feel like I have Jesus in my heart, and a couple other Christians along the way. And that really hit home. And she's like, well, how about that church you go to? I say, yeah, what about it? She's like, how long is it? I said, it's only like an hour and 10 minutes, 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. And she was asking so many questions about it. And I was like, you know what? Those seeds that you do sow, they're for a reason. You have to be radical with it. And I was even thinking back years ago with my dad. We used to do construction and landscape, and we used to plant these big yards of new grass on soil. And I remember I would be the cleanup guy, and my dad would put a bucket on his hand, on his elbow here, and just go around and just scatter it, because he grew up like on a farm in Italy, so he kind of knew how to do that. And it would spread like 20-30 feet, but it would go all over the place. I used to be like, Dad, it went on a sidewalk, it went on a driveway. He's like, don't worry about it, the wind will take care of it, God will take care of it, it's going to bring it back into good deep soil. So I'm looking for those dreamers, that one person. God said, be radical. It's really, this is about helping others, but just look for that one dreamer. So I'm talking to you, Kamani, on the West Coast. I'm talking to you, Charlie, whoever's listening. The best is yet to come for your life. So don't judge the process and the transformation that God's bringing you through. Stop judging the seed, right, that you planted, and during the process just keep sowing. God's timing, it'll happen. I believe that to be true. So I was super fired up. So I just wanted to be just prepared to do what I need to do today, and the best is yet to come. So I'm going to read what I read this morning out of John 15. And this is Jesus speaking. Actually, John, for Jesus. I am the true vine, and my Father is the vine dresser. Every branch in me that does not bear fruit, he takes away. And every branch that bears fruit he prunes, that it may bear more fruit. You are already clean because of the word which I have spoken to you. Amen. That really fires me up. So God's putting you through that fire. He's pruning what's not needs to be there. It's a transformation. It's a process. So enjoy that process. Like I always say, don't worry about the destination. Enjoy the journey and the process of transformation. So what I believe, it's a way. So I know I learned this from Edwin, who preached last Sunday in Farmingdale. He basically said the old Christians back in years ago, I don't even know what time it was, he said a time frame, I don't know if it was the Romans or it was Caesar, and he had people spy on these people that were the first Christians, and they called them the way. And the way is a way to be. You got to be about that. So like, that woman I was telling you about, her name is actually Phyllis, and I pray that she comes to church, any church, it doesn't matter, and she surrounds herself with good people. So I hope that seed goes deep rooted in her, because you know what, not only did she remind me of my mother, she lost both her children. So that hit home to me. So that's why you do what you do. And I have a lot of people just in general, they're saying, hey, why do you do what you're doing? Like, let that person get a job, let that person do what they need to do, but it's up to you to plant the good seed. You're supposed to plant the good seed wherever you go, because I can't go where you go. You're right, I only could go where I go. I go east, you go west. You go north, I go south. So it's about spreading hope and love, and that's a way to be. That's what Christianity is all about, following Jesus. And as it says in 1 Corinthians 11:1, who's doing an amazing job of that, following them to Jesus, is Pastor Mike. And I just wanted to pray for them. They're in Ukraine all week, and I believe all the seeds, that's what I'm going to pray for, all the seeds, all the people that they spoke to, his whole team that went with them, that it gets deep rooted in their spirit. and God, and it's going to be in God's timing that everything comes to fruition. So I pray those things over their life, and I pray a hedge of protection over their life on coming back home, that no weapon formed against them shall prosper. And the reason why I'm radical, because I see a lot of leaders being radical in their obedience. You know, like that other day with that woman Phyllis, she sits on a crate, everybody passes her by. I seen her there 3 or 4 times. I never said nothing because she looked like stone-faced. But last week was my first time. I said, hey, how are you? And she started telling me. That's all I had to do. I just opened my mouth. So be radical, be obedient. That seed that's inside you, just keep sowing it consistently. Because when you sow consistently, the best is yet to come. So don't worry about what other people are doing. You were chosen from God. I believe that. As it says in John 15:16, he chose you out of this world to bear good fruit, and fruit that lasts. And sowing seeds is the only way to reap a harvest. Because in the same principle as a farmer, my dad taught me, it doesn't matter where the seeds are going. He's looking for that one. So we're looking for that one. So I'm talking to you, Kamani. I'm talking to you, Charlie, and whoever's listening to this. God bless you guys. The best is yet to come. I'm also talking to Will Camacho and a couple other great leaders that I know. The best is yet to come. Peace.